culture of thrones set ablaze by the majority. Tired of complacency, ready for the anarchy, cause what's left to lose? Everything is lost. Time to turn to the new. Stand in your ground, hold it. Man-made earthquakes shake the foundation of centuries of colonies. Time for erasure of stains. Questions. Why?
Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. You are tuning in to the Urban Conservative. And with me this morning, I have my co-host and executive producer, John Tail Tolan.
Yo, Grand Rising, everybody. Hope you are well today and blessed. Let's get it.
I am Chaz Neal, an activist based in Minneapolis, Minnesota, and we are being brought to you today by the Leon Block Independent Media. We are all about transparency, truth, and accountability. The Urban Conservative is all about the news on the streets, gun violence, crime, politics, and how we solve our community's most hardest issues. How can we change our communities for the better? Let's get back to family, community, and building foundational roots. Let's make sure nobody gets left behind. Shut up and help. Today, we're going to talk about, the first story is we're going to talk about is there was a situation here in Minneapolis at Catholic Charities. They were doing a clothing giveaway, and there was an altercation that a person had their eyeball popped out.
Wow.
Which is really disturbing when people are going to get help and people are being assaulted. It's just sick to me and disturbing because of the point in time that we're at right now. When are people ever safe of even going to get basic necessities of clothing, food, shelter, and to be coming somewhere to get help and to be assaulted so gruesomely and is
It's indicative of our society and the things that are going on. We can't do nothing nowhere without having some kind of struggle going on. Yo, I want to say real quick, it's Indigenous Peoples Day. Shout out to all the people who have lost their lives by colonization and degradation of the previous society and the old way. I won't say the old way, but the true way of living.
Yes. Fuck Christopher Columbus over here.
Fuck for Columbus Day. Fuck yeah.
Yes, because that's not the true history. How's a motherfucker gonna find something that people are already here?
Yep.
So that is real American history today, brought to you by Leon Block Independent Media. But if you go to the next slide, the next picture, you'll see that yesterday. So that was the clothing giveaway at Catholic Charities, because that building right there is There's two separate. Right there is Catholic Charities, and across the other way we don't have a picture of, but it's the Salvation Army.
Okay.
So you have two different separate not city entities, but nonprofit entities over there that help the homeless, help the poor. So that is considered in Minneapolis a high crime area because you also around the corner have the Greyhound bus station. So, the way they treat our people, man, the way they treat our people.
Mind you, fill people in on the story that we did the other day about the current state of the houseless population in your city.
Yeah, and we can get into that. There is something that if you go the Fox 9,
yeah,
the activists set up a homeless encampment at Minneapolis City Hall.
And hold on, I think there is a video for. Oh no, that's the other one. Okay.
Yeah.
So here we go.
Yep, right there.
This October,
always an ad.
Always an ad, y'all.
Right.
Always
right.
an ad.
So the advocates for the homeless have set up an encampment outside Minneapolis City Hall after the city cleared out 2 encampments in the city over the past couple days. Last weekend, so basically in the last 8-9 days, there's been 3 encampments evicted, and we had a housing shutdown that was basically for men that came out of prison that were facing drug issues. It was more like a transitional housing so they could get back on their feet, and they were evicted. So this is we're going to talk about is Fox 9 did a story about the activists. I call it performative because they're only doing it for one day. I do think what they're doing is important. It brings awareness, but if there isn't a solid plan behind it, what they're doing is pointless.
You're sending homeless people onto the streets on the coldest day of
right.
so far in Minneapolis, and you're only doing a protest for one day. What is your plan of action? What's the long-term plan of how you're going to house these people, at least temporarily, until you find another solution? The protest, like you said, is performative.
Definitely, because of just the simple fact of where you're looking at where they're protesting right now is City Hall. And the people the elected officials made $1.5 million between the 14 of them. So you mean to tell me that they each couldn't put $1,500, $2,000, let's even say $5,000.
Right.
That's like $75,000 right now. Actually, $70,000 right there because there's 14 of them. So that'd be $70,000 that they could literally from their own campaign, their own funds, whatever, you know what I'm saying, put into a fund to help the homeless. But yet they're not doing that.
Mm-hmm.
So if they really wanted to end homelessness, they really could, because we literally pay more to unsheltered people than to really help people have stable housing. Because
talk about it
for stable housing, if we literally wanted to help pay people rent for, let's say, 2 years, right? Because if we put people in the shelters, jails, hospitals, ERs, we're paying anywhere between $40,000 to $120,000 a year, right? Rent anywhere between $13,000 to $25,000 a year. So why do we choose the capitalist way and not the people way?
Talk about it.
Understand it, because to really solve the issue is so much cheaper, but they would rather pump so much more money in to cause way more of a problem, because instead of solving the problem, they would rather band-aid the problem.
Yep. Because it's the same reason that we know there's cures for cancers and HIV and so many other things, but
diabetes.
Diabetes. The medical industry would lose their money. So they have to keep people barely alive so that they can continue to make money. And it's the same kind of thing when it comes to houselessness, because it feeds mental health issues, it feeds the criminal justice system, it feeds the prison industrial complex, and they make bank off of those things.
Big bank. They make,
It feeds-
because it makes,
it
when, if
feeds-
it doesn't
it feeds
make
the
dollars, it
military.
doesn't make sense.
Right. Talk about it.
If it don't make dollars, it don't make sense. Because why would you pick the more expensive route to try to, and I say trying, when I say trying is, to me, trying is lying. So,
Right.
and that's what they're doing, because they're trying to fix a problem with just throwing money at it.
Yep.
Instead of looking at the core issue and figuring out why people are homeless. Is it maybe because they don't make enough money? Okay, so let's do this. It'll be cheaper if we just give them, what is their rent? Let's say $900 a month. So that's $9,000. So we'll give them $10,800. But you know what? We'll double that. So we'll give them $21,600. Boom, bam, wham. We pay their rent for 2 years. Now we could pay $21,600, or we could pay anywhere between 80 to 160 grand for the next 2 years. What makes more sense? See, politician is going to choose the anywhere between the 80 to 160, because they're going to tell the voters that we're bringing more money into your community. But what they're not going to tell you, what violence that's going to bring, what crime that's going to bring, because at the end of the day, when a person has their back against the wall, what are they going to go do? What's the easier way to go get money? The fast way.
Right. Poverty breeds crime, and poverty also goes in hand with lack of education. So
Right.
you're going to do the easiest things because you need the quickest way of getting what you need and means of what you need. It's a matter of survival too. And all these powers that be noticed, though, it's just the way that they react to it that makes that you're pointing out, I think, is the most important thing.
No, definitely. Let's play this video because I haven't even watched it.
Yeah, we getting off track here, but
No, we ain't never off track over here.
Facts. Always speak the truth.
Right.
There's some focus from the police on this area, and we see some police around here, and it's more a presence.
The presence, Fox 9 camera spotting empty police cars with their lights on in downtown. It's part of a plan for more visibility throughout the city. But it's that exact tactic sparking a heated argument on Twitter between a resident and the city's top man for public safety. A Minneapolis citizen on Twitter questioned Dr. Cedric Alexander about several empty squads in downtown. Alexander responded by saying, "It shows increased visibility. Enough of the two-faced talking from both sides of your mouth already," he said. Well, the heated exchange continued for several tweets. Alexander has since said he regrets the tone of his replies. Fox 9 asked the city of Minneapolis if the commissioner violated the city's social media policy. City officials say they're in the process of reviewing that situation.
Advocates for the homeless are camping out at Minneapolis City Hall. This comes after the city cleared out several homeless encampments in the last week across the city. City officials say the camps pose a public health and public safety risk. Advocates say they have one demand here. They want to stop the destruction of those encampments.
A lot of us advocates got together and we're like, we have to do something. You know, this is kind of a breaking point. Winter's coming. You know, people are going to freeze outside. They're going to lose limbs. People aren't getting adequate health care, shelter, food. This is a fight for their lives.
Those advocates say they will be at City Hall as long as they can. They have a rally and supply drive planned for tomorrow. The city has a meeting on Tuesday. That's where they'll address their homeless response.
So they're addressed the homeless. So they're going to wait till Tuesday. These are full-time elected officials with city staff that today is a business day. So why not handle it today? Why not call an emergency meeting?
Right.
That is according to your city charter. This is the shit I hate. And I'm going to say hate. I don't like to use that word, but I hate it because of the simple fact of they're feeding a narrative. And I'm not talking about Fox 9. She's reporting what she's hearing.
Right.
regardless if she mistook their words or whatever. I'm going to comment off of, because I know these people, right? And I know these groups that are out there. Not all of them are bad. But my point is, it's performative, because at the end of the day, you are going up here, you're at a city hall. Why not be at these people's front doors? Why not
Talk
go
about
to
it.
where Latrice Vitale lives? Why not go to where Ellison lives? In Ward, you know what? I'm going to name all of them off. Why not go to an Elliot Payne's house? Why in Ward 1? Why not go to a Robin Wansley in Ward 2, or Michael Rainville in Ward 3, or Ward 4, Latrice Vitale, Ward 5, Jeremiah Ellison, or Ward 6, Jamal Osman, Ward 7, Lisa Goodman, Ward 8, Andrea Jenkins, Ward 9, Jason Chavez, Ward 10, Aisha Shagtai, Ward 11, Emily Koski, Ward 12, Andrew Johnson, and Ward 13, Lisa, I don't know what her name is, but she's the vice president of the city council. And then you got Jacob Frey, who makes $136,000 a year. But then let's go to the 13 names I just named off. They make 106. So why are we not at their house? Why are we not bothering them? Because City Hall ain't doing shit. That is performative. Why are we at these people's houses and disrupting? Because I thought it was no justice, no peace.
Capitalism.
But y'all don't want to go into their neighborhoods and disrupt their peace. You want to go downtown because you want the media. You want performative.
People over property. Performative.
Like, come on, man. I don't understand it anymore. If people really cared, if y'all did not want to be outside and take all from away from your jobs, away from your lives, why not go to where the core issue is? Because it's not at City Hall.
Yep.
If you really want change, it's not at City Hall, because they're not there right now. They weren't there yesterday when y'all did the press conference. Why not go to where they live? Go to their neighborhoods. Mess up their justice. Mess up their peace. Because that's the only way we're going to get it. We can't keep on doing these performative actions. And I hope they do get a lot of donations. I don't want people to think that I'm bad talking, or it's the truth is the truth and the facts are the facts. Because if we're really going to get change, we have to stop doing performative ass shit. Performative, because the problem is all those names that I read off are Democrats. They're all Democrats, whatever factions of moderate to socialist to liberal, those are all Democrats, DFLers, right? 2017, Mayor Jacob Frey ran off of, he was going to end homelessness in 5 years. Sir, it's 2022. You haven't ended homelessness yet.
Talk about it.
So, Omar, not even going to Omar. I'll talk to the other 13 council members. Todd Brammitz from Black Lives, the Streets, and Black Lives Matter, Minneapolis, St. Paul, has a bill in Senate that has been in city, whatever, the state hall, the capital, the state capitol for 4 years. And this is Bill HF 1416. For $5 million for 30 homes over north for transitional housing for families to help them get out of homelessness. And who stops it? Who stops it? Because it isn't the Republicans stopping it, because it's the Republican bill. It's the Democrats stopping it. So y'all need to wake up and smell the coffee. Because that shit they telling y'all is bullshit. It's bullshit. Yeah. It's bullshit.
So the last story, I think it's the last story you wanted to get into, is via Twitter, right?
Yes. On Twitter, it is. So what is pulling up is yesterday right before Saturday night. This is a Saturday night thing. Sergeant Schroeder is a very famous, whatever you want to call him, police officer, detective. But he's also got a lot of history. They call him a mini Chauvin, and that should scare a lot of people.
Oh yeah.
And instead of talking about it, they prefer to keep it silent. And I've met this dude. I call him a coward, and I've told that to him to his face. He's a coward. Seeing this man call family members to scenes and brutalize the family members coming to de-escalate a situation while he's escalating the situation.
Of course.
But just to show it that his squad car was rammed and he had to get authorization to chase. Now, the reason why I bring that authorization piece up, that he had to get it authorized to chase this vehicle, is because that is a failed Democratic policy. See, criminals in Minneapolis know certain things about Minneapolis. That's why they do certain things. They know. That's why you have the carjackers drive over north past these officers, laughing in their faces, going down Broadway or Penn at 40, 50 miles an hour, because they know the police can't chase them. They know the police can't get no chase.
Right.
So then you have people like Cedric Alexander, who brings in ideas that, okay, we'll police with drones. So while BLM and the DFL is behind that, they don't understand that that's going to take away our civil freedoms. That's going to take away our right to privacy. So just because of the fact that the police are lazy and they want to use that they're understaffed, right? So that they don't want to, why don't you get the community involved? Why don't you protect the community instead of sitting there being silent and allowing the bullshit to happen? Because yesterday was a whole Vikings game, and yet you had police presence down there, but so much shit was going on over north. That right there. Y'all better sip on the tea and
That's right.
To downtown, and they're feeling safer. So
yeah, safe for my ass.
well, today, some of the folks we talked to say a police presence. Thanks
Good
for
morning,
joining.
good morning, good morning.
Pinkies up, bitches. Good morning.
Okay, you can't be saying all the hey, we a rated R show, but we got come on, you can't be saying the B word. We're conservative over here. We're about family values. We don't be using the B word. Come on now. Can't be just waking up being all handy dandy on a Monday.
I'm dead. Hold on. Hold on. I need a moment.
Then they're gonna be like, "Oh, he's part of that grab it crowd." I don't need that kind of.
Right. They're gonna call you. Next thing you know,
backlash.
people gonna be calling you Snowflake. Good morning, y'all. Top of the morning, yo, Meg.
People don't know who this is. This is Meg Keller. She is a co-host on Daily Tea. She also has her own show called Freedom for All. So if you're not following, please do. Very informative young woman right here, young queen. Does a lot of stuff for Freedom of Information Acts. Does a lot of stuff with data requests. Actually helped me over the weekend with my writing the continuance. So let it be known.
Pinkies up.
At the comments.
Pinkies up.
You sound like you hyped today, Meg.
Oh, you know it. Ready to work, honey.
You feeling good?
Let's
Go
get
ahead,
it.
girlfriend.
Yes, today's a good day, honey. We are
Right.
blessed and highly favored.
That's right.
Live.
That's right. Let's go ahead and finish this video up.
Oh, and I'm glad that you joined too, Meg, because this next story that we're gonna talk about after we get done with this, you're gonna love this. So I'm glad all three of us are on.
For real.
Ooh, yes. Let's get it.
Let's get it.
October, early fall, Sunday.
Vikings game day at US Bank Stadium means big crowds around downtown before and after the game. The feeling that many in the city say has been missing over the last couple of years until now.
But yeah, I believe downtown is back.
Down, getting back to what it used to be, like a lot of people moving around.
As part of a new public safety plan in Minneapolis, there were several empty squad cars parked around downtown to deter crime amid a year when crime numbers in some areas have climbed.
I saw a couple of police like walking in, and I do appreciate them keeping everybody safe.
I actually like the police presence, definitely.
Meanwhile, perhaps drawing more people to downtown. Just a stone's throw from Target Center.
We are very excited to be part of the resurgence of downtown.
Tom's Watch Bar will open for the first time on Monday. Operating partner Jason Cooney says the safety of their customers will be top of mind.
It'll be safe, yeah. We have some security in building here too. About what we see with the police too is great. There's some focus from the police on this area, and we see some.
And not just Minneapolis police on hand today, but also several private security organizations as these crowds come back. Live in Minneapolis, Bat Santos, Fox 9.
You know, my thing of it is he says private security. Why don't he just say what he really and say the office of violence prevention? Why didn't he just say that? This it didn't put him out there, but I guarantee it that because if that was a part of Operation Endeavor, a lot of that has to do with community involvement, and that's what people don't understand. And Operation Endeavor, if you look at I don't have a link to it, and I will find it, but reading from independent media and people that don't have no affiliations with media channels, have really dug into it, and what their take from it is Operation Endeavor is a military tactic. You see all it makes it seem like their presence is known more and is around. But see, that to me is a failure, because criminals are smarter nowadays. You know, the tactics are getting different, and especially if they're learning the policies, because you don't have the same type of criminality in suburbs or rural areas, because they allow their police to be police. But see, when you get to the inner cities, you have these police officers that don't live in inner city areas. They live in suburbs, or they were picked on when they were in high school. Maybe Big Dick Bob got to his girlfriend on the, you know what I'm saying, and mad that, you know, she got blacked out. You know what I mean? So, and then they take it out when they pull somebody over, a black individual,
slave catcher.
Right. So it's not always about racism. It's not always about a person's color. Sometimes they just a piece of shit ass person, regardless of whatever color they are. They just wear a fucking blue uniform. So but honestly, I do believe all cops are bad, because if you,
it's the profession,
right? It's silence. It's the silence. It's the fact that
silence and violence.
They take an oath that really don't mean shit, because the Supreme Court has already said they have no obligation to protect the public. So when they take that oath, why even include that protect the public? Because y'all don't have to.
You're right.
And I ain't gonna really rant on police, but what the hashtag says, police to police. There's nothing wrong with that, because we do have the right to do a citizen's arrest, even on a paid licensed officer, if they're out there committing wrong. So I need people to know this, that we do too have rights as citizens. If you look at any organizational chart in a city and you know who runs the city, the first thing that's going to come up, the residents. We, the people, are the bosses. We pay those $1.5 million that's going to our Minneapolis City Council. We pay the $150,000+ a year that Omar gets are their travel, housing. Yeah, we pay that. So while we have homeless people and they're taking private jets to Russia, are they going to Ukraine? Are they going to North Korea? Are they going to Europe? Are they going to vacation up in Martha's Vineyard?
Talk about it.
Homeless people out here that we should really be caring about, while y'all take those full-time salaries but don't want to be full-time elected officials.
And on that note, we're going to take a quick break and we're going to come back and we're going to talk a little bit about Akron. And then we have some other stuff we want to talk about real quick. So, Meg, stay tuned as well. We're sure you got some commentary and some stuff to talk about.
Right.
Meg, yo, you hyped this morning. She ready for the tea.
We are going to talk
Always,
about
you already know.
when we get back from little commercial break. We are going to talk about. I'm going to put it out there to hype people up. So share, because we're going to talk about why lives matter. We're going to talk about the greatest lie ever told, a documentary that is coming out Wednesday by Candace Owens. So please tune in, because what happened with Kanye and Candace was all a performative action. And I'm going to explain why me, Jontel, and Meg are going to tell you why.
Let's talk about it.
Propaganda.
That's right. Yo.
Top of the morning.
Top of the morning.
Grand Rising.
We are going to talk about Akron. Over the weekend, there was a story that came out from Akron about another police-involved killing that happened after Jayland Walker.
Oh.
The lady, it was a situation at the end of July where the police were called to a bar for a shooting. Hold on, I'm trying to
Hold on. Did you hear about this, Meg?
No, this is the first time I've heard about it.
Trying to think of her name so I get it right.
What's up with it, Miss Akron? I would think we should ask Miss Akron, who's on our comments right now.
Is she still on there?
She still might be, because
she's around. She always around. You already
always
know.
around, right?
Right, she is always around.
She's always around, but don't get around. You know what I'm saying?
Lurking.
Lurking, yes, peeping.
Yo, well, while Chaz is getting those, oh, look like she might have commented.
Yeah, she there.
Yep. Yo, y'all tuning in to the Urban Conservative. I'm executive producer John Tell, joined by the host of the show, Chaz Neal, and we got guest on the show who is also host of T and Freedom for All, Meg Keller, and we're talking about Akron because it's always some shit going down in Akron. Excuse my language, but when it comes to the kind of crimes that are committed when it comes to police against civilians, Ohio in general, I'm sorry, I'm reading the comments, has got a lot of work to do. So we've got a lot of work to do as far as holding them accountable, because it's what independent media does. Am I right, y'all?
Yes, you are.
100%, sir.
That's right. It's about to take over.
Wow.
Well, while you're finding that story, you still looking for it?
Yeah.
All right. Well, there is a story that we did forget about. It's a triple shooting at an intersection in Northwest DC.
Right.
So the Metro Police Department said it was looking for 2 people involved in a shooting that left 3 men hurt on Sunday afternoon. The shooting happened in the area of 7th and O Streets Northwest shortly after 5:45 p.m. So this was about multiple rounds of gunfire, and officers who were nearby heard the shots. They went to the intersection, found 3 men who'd been hit by gunfire. All of them were conscious and breathing, and the men were sent to the hospital for treatment. There was no fatalities, but there were some injuries, of course. A number of cars were also hit by gunfire, and no one besides the man was hurt. And MPD, the Metro Police Department, said it appeared to be a targeted drive-by shooting. Added then that there was no evidence that other shootings in the district earlier than that Sunday were related to the triple shooting. The police department asked that it's looking for 2 people who left the area in a black sedan with a faded color roof. That's right. Justice for Jalen. Justice for Jalen. And you know what? They will put stories out like this to distract us from the main story. The main story being, yes, justice for Muhammad, that there are constant stolen lives and lives taken too early by police forces, and they don't want to talk about it. It still goes on every day. They don't want to talk about it.
No, I never do.
My rant's over. Meg, what you got for us?
Man, I think that this is crazy. They just got to stop killing us. There was a lot of police shootings over the weekend too that I'm going to talk about on Freedom for All. One whenever the kids were throwing rocks and they shot him 4 times within 21 seconds of arrival on scene.
Wow.
One was the 17-year-old boy in McDonald's parking lot that they shot. There was the guy the cop was on the probationary period and shot the kid. Crazy.
That one reminds me of like Dante Wright, like he was pulling off,
right?
And they shot at the cars he was pulling off. It's just a mess.
Do we see a pattern, y'all?
Right. I can't find it, but I will look for it.
No doubt. Yeah, no doubt. It's all good. If you want, because I know it's the story that we really wanted to get to, because me and you was going at it about this story, and it does. There's so many different ways and angles to go at this, and I'm gonna say my piece definitely because I feel like we got different perspectives, not conflicting, but just different aspects of this that we can pick apart. So I want to go ahead and get into that, Chaz, because I know you really want to talk about this. Kanye West first. So what about Kanye West and Candace Owens? What happened? Because I did hear about White Lives Matter, but what's going on with that? Break it down, brother.
So Kanye did a fashion show in Paris and wore White Lives Matter shirts. He's selling them. And I want people to know that this is all performative, and I'm kind of glad that he did this for a reason. It's a marketing. He's a marketing genius. Yeah, he's banned on Instagram and Twitter right now, and they want to say that he's anti-Semitic. That's the same thing they pulled on Nick Cannon. It's kind of the same thing they just pulled here with Cedric Alexander in Minneapolis, because they want to make this man Kanye ain't gonna apologize, but Nick did because it messed with his money. Now, when you have the type of money Kanye has, you can't mess with the man's money because he got money. The man is a billionaire. He can say whatever he wants, and that's real freedom right there. That is when somebody can't silence you, which they're trying to silence him. Yeah, he is money. The man is a walking. Everybody want to be, even though he dresses weird. I might think it's weird. Clothes might look like you're homeless, but it's still everybody wants some Yeezys.
And you know what? People are talking about the mental health aspect of it, and that can go one of two ways, right? First of all, a black man exhibiting mental health issues is no different than a white man or a white woman exhibiting mental health issues. That person needs help if they are, having mental health issues. Do I think he's got some mental health issues? I do. However, aren't all billionaires freaking weird?
Weird, right?
Why is it that all of a sudden we see a black billionaire and it doesn't make any sense to us? We automatically want to go to he's got issues or he's crazy and Yeah, that may be true, but so are the other billionaires that are sitting there eating body parts and throwing these all big extravagant Illuminati parties that I'm sure y'all have heard of. But yet we want to harp on Kanye, the one black billionaire that we can actually kind of compare ourselves to, because we've seen him go from rags to riches. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yo, I'm glad
they ain't gonna like this. This is the thing of it is, though. They're not gonna like this because this is what people are. This was all a performative action, right? It was to get people to talk. And that's exactly what it did, because over the weekend you had my son, the general, Tamika Mallory, Selena Johnson. These are all people that were commenting on something that was posted about BLM, the White Lives Matter, bullshit. Because instead of maybe calling the people out and taking accountability, they wanted to cover up for it. Yeah, and I got screenshots, and I've even messaged these people privately to tell them, everything you don't need to jump in on, because if you're not going to sit here and call out people for accountability to get unity, sit the fuck down and shut up and help.
Talk about it.
That is, I love what he does. I will say this, that boycott black murder, yes. I love it. But the performative shit you do, my nigga, because at the end of the day, who pays you? Not your rap career, my nigga, because I don't know you for your rap. I don't know you for your whack-ass freestyles you do on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram. I don't know you for that, my nigga. What I know you for is this movement. Is that you out here for Black Lives Matter, right? But instead of calling out our people that are doing wrong, you're sticking up for them. You're part of the problem. You're not part of the solution, because you wanted to talk about 990 forms. Why don't you go ask Patrice Collars for all the receipts for the $90 million, my nigga, before you stick up for somebody? Because you don't know where that money went. You're going to go sit there and stick up for them, instead of just honestly saying, you know what, I don't know where all that money went. Because I guarantee it, you got paid off of some of that. You got paid. Street politicians. Yeah. Y'all act like I don't know you're part of Ben Crump and what's the old Al Sharpton Fed rat ass team. Right. Man. Like I don't understand how y'all pay y'all lives, your housing,
black capital,
travel. Y'all act like I don't know that's on your budgets. Get the fuck out of here.
Right.
Come on, man. They got to make it make sense to me. Gotta make it make sense. But
On
it was
point.
all a ploy to get people to deflect and distract. But honestly, is it really deflecting and distracting people? Because it's anything that a lot of people are probably going to disagree with Kanye and Candace Owens are doing. But I didn't see nobody in Minneapolis stopping Candace Owens from doing this documentary in Minneapolis, because as you'll see in this little trailer clip, and you can see on Wednesday when it drops, the documentary, The Greatest Lie Ever Told, BLM George. I don't know why she put George Floyd in it, but yeah, if you could play the trailer, because I
Her,
haven't.
her little smug smile just gets. I want to smack her right off her face. Ugh. All right, here we go, yo.
So Black Lives Matter released their 990 filings. They collected $80 million. Where is that money?
It's not here. Everything looks worse than it was.
Where have you seen that money impacted throughout the city? So my producer just sent me a link. It is just shocking to me because of how much money was raised to think that where he lived, the bills weren't being covered. Super frustrating, but that's dead end. So, and here's where it gets really interesting. Ready for some BLM pride? Another $200K went to escorts, BDSM workers, strippers, peep show workers, phone sex operators, and webcam performers. And then at that moment, it became personal. And I thought, not only am I going to say the truth, I am going to scream the truth louder than you can scream the lies. That's incredible that the majority of the world hasn't seen this.
So 2 days, when it comes out on Wednesday.
Yeah.
This is insane. Like,
You
first of
know-
all, what is she talking about like transgender people and LGBT? What's that about? She's talking about George Floyd?
No, what she's talking about is, so if you look at the 990 forms, and we can dig through this on Daily T this week too, because this is Meg's specialty, one of her specialties. We'll break down of where, look at BLM, the whatever movement they want to call themselves, their 990 form, the global movement, and look at the 80-90 million dollars, but look at where it was, how it was allocated,
right?
Because a lot of it was to different organizations that were predominantly trans, and their lives matter too,
right?
But when you look at how
But
that
what about the black folk?
Right. Why do we always got to break it down? You know, they want to put us under BIPOC. I'm sorry, but I'm tired of being called a BIPOC.
I'm black first.
Because, right,
Period.
I'm black first. Because when Asians, y'all want to consider them BIPOC, but yet there's an Asian hate crime bill. There ain't no black one.
Also, let's not forget the fact that all skin folk ain't kinfolk.
And
how many of us is really for ourselves and for Black lives? It's not very many, because then you got the white people that's like allies that say they're allies, but how many of them are really helping us? And I'm talking about liberals.
Right. They don't help us because they go to a certain few people and say, oh, we're going to the community. But those people that they're going to don't even really live in the community. They maybe work in the community for a nonprofit, but that don't mean they're here 24/7.
Right.
They're not out here with the people, because you really have individuals and groups that don't get paid by the city, that don't get grants, that are self-sustaining, but get shitted on because of the simple fact of we don't want to take that money, and they can't bite the hand that feeds them. They can't bite the hand that feeds them. So that's why you see these performative actions instead of calling out these public officials. And what I mean by public, because none of their information is private. I have all 14 of these people's addresses because it's public information.
Right.
I have Keith Ellison's address, all 3 of his houses, because he has 3 of them. Just to put that out there. I
Who
know
needs 3 houses, like
right, but even like Governor Walz, because there's an argument, a debate out there that he doesn't live in Minnesota.
Oh,
he
wow.
is from Nebraska originally, but he does have property in Mankato in his wife's name. See, people don't always want to look at the spouse. They just want to look at the individual. Now, them being a married couple, I'm sure his name is on the deed somewhere, but when it comes up on the GIS, it's under his wife. So I want people to understand this. This is all public information. So if you really want to make change, don't go to a city hall where you know ain't nobody there, because
Right.
all you're doing is you're making a statement, but what is an arrest going to do? Because that's resources that could have went somewhere else. So that 50 million that they raised for the Minnesota Freedom Fund, that could have been used for other ways instead of out here leading people blindly to be arrested, to get charges that now they don't have a job anymore, maybe, or they lost their housing, because there's a trickle effect to that shit. And some people that were out here by any means necessary, following people that were saying, preaching, but not following by any means necessary, were the people that are paying the costs. Not them, because they get to go home, live in their nice house on Brooklyn Park, Brooklyn Center, Coon Rapids, while the real revolutionaries are either homeless,
struggling out there,
about to be homeless.
Yep.
And yet we get shitted on. So why are y'all jealous of us when y'all already got it all? I don't understand that. Why shit on us? Because we don't have nothing. We're out here fighting to get where y'all are at. I would love to get $1 million contract, not so I could go live by a $500,000 house. We push for peace.
Talk about it.
But to give back to my community so that we can all live accordingly, equally, and not to be pointed out because of black excellence. That ain't black excellence. That's black selling out, my nigga.
Woo!
If that was black excellence, we would all be like that, because it ain't that hard. It ain't that hard. Anybody can go put on a tie and a suit and go in there and act like a white man. It's called acting. But I ain't never about to go in there, even with a suit and a tie. I'm always going to be Chaz Lawrence Neal. You're always going to hear me say the nigga word. You're always going to hear me say whatever the fuck comes out of my mouth, because I'm not. That's what I see on these streets, because that's where my office is. That's where I'm at 24/7. I don't want to be in a city hall protected by people that don't want to protect me. I want to be protected by the people, because that's who I'm out here for. The people.
Talk about it.
I'm not out here for Democrats. I'm not out here for Republicans. I'm out here to keep us a family, to keep us as units, to get that unity so that we can all live in peace. So win or fail, freedom or jail, heaven or hell, wish me well.